Hello, StarCraft fans! This is Falcon Paladin coming to you with yet another daily Legacy of the Void upload. This is a game between Stats and WayTeh on Apotheosis, the latter edition. In the bottom right side of the map, we have the Aquamarine Protoss player. It is WayTeh, hailing from Russia. And in the top left side of the map, we have the Korean Protoss player in the color blue. It is the Protoss player Stats. Currently teamless. And this was sent to me at falconpaladin@gmail.com. I will not tell you who sent it to me, but I appreciate that they did because I am always looking for professional level replays, and this mirror matchup is for you guys, Protoss. Alright, so Apotheosis, I really do love this map. It leads to pretty darn interesting games. I remember, who was that who proxied? I want to say it was Euthermal that proxied a barracks and a factory and a starport right here against, I want to say it was Petit Drogo. I'm going to see if I can find that game and link it in the top right, but that was a pretty darn exciting game. Maybe it was part of an entire series. Oh, I know what it was. I'm not going to tell you, though. Anyway, I'll link it in the top right. We'll figure that one out. And it looks like we are going for a double gas opening for both of these players. As I said, Protoss is usually pretty mirrored up in here in the production tab for quite a while. The first couple minutes anyway. So both players getting double gateways. Both players already have a double gas happening here. Strangely enough, there are two assimilators on each, or two workers on each gas here for WayTeh. But this assimilator, oh, okay, the assimilator had one for just a second. It looks like maybe he just pulled a worker off the gas, threw it on a pylon, and then he put it right back to work. So not a huge deal there. Cybernetics core a little bit earlier here for Stats. Did I say Stats is currently teamless? He is currently teamless, but is a professional Korean StarCraft 2 player, so I'm sure his micro and macro skills are pretty darn impressive, and really nothing to shake a stick at. Actually, wasn't Beyond teamless for a while? I mean, it doesn't mean you're bad. If you don't have a team, this means you can't quite find a home, or maybe you feel like you don't need a home. Some players are like that. Anyway, Chrono Boost happening on both these guys. We do have the Warp Gate research coming out here for Stats, and WayTeh not getting Warp Gate research. Why are you skipping Warp Gate, WayTeh? This is weird. Oh, now he is. Now he's just started getting... He heard me. He's like, oh, Falcon Paladin, you're right. You're right. Why did I skip? Why did I skip Warp Gate research? That makes no sense whatsoever. Anyway, two Adepts coming out here from Stats, two Stalkers from WayTeh. There is a lot of discussion on this in the comments. What is better? I feel like, I don't know, I just kind of feel like Adepts are better. Yes, in a straight-up fight, Stalkers will kill them because they do extra damage. The Stalkers do extra damage versus... Oh, wait, versus Armored. What am I thinking here? I guess they just outrange the Adepts and can kind of kite them. But this whole psionic transfer thing that we're seeing here, you can really just warp past the Stalkers, threaten your opponent's mineral line, and keep them from doing anything. It's kind of a tricky thing here. WayTeh coming down with his own probe, coming back home from scouting. Adepts psionic transferring their way on in, gonna get right past these Stalkers as soon as that's available. Bam, there it is. Whoop! Psionic transfer. Oh, just through the rocks. That was very close. Indeed, trying to sneak on in and cancels the psionic transfer and decides to just head on back home. I think saw the mothership core, and I think he saw the pylon here and said, yeah, we're not getting anything done with photon overcharge in the sky. Enough for two photon overcharges, mind you. So they just backed out. Three Stalkers here for WayTeh, really looking for where these Adepts are. Adepts do finish the transfer. They're chasing down this probe. Can they catch it? No, the probe is too fast. This probe also retreating. Good reaction time there by WayTeh, getting those probes out of there before the Adepts could actually rock them down. And Photon Overcharge going to come in, trying to bait a Photon Overcharge. There's the cancel. Oh, not a cancel. Actually finishing that psionic transfer. I apologize. Did finish it. Got out of there. They were trying to bait a psionic or a Photon Overcharge out of WayTeh there, but it did not happen. Both players going for expansions. Now Stargate just about to finish up for Stats, and a robotics facility for WayTeh. So if that's going to be Immortal, I like that choice. Immortal in PvP is excellent. It does very well against many things your opponent can do, especially Stalkers, though. Really great if your opponent is going Stalker. And actually, robotics facility for Stats as well. So he's going Oracle out of the Stargate, and a robotics facility after that. WayTeh's robo facility is on the way, and a Twilight Council coming up next. So really heading pretty heavy, I have to assume, for this Stalker push, a Blink Stalker push with Observer support, going to blink up into the main base of Stats and try to do some damage, which we have seen before. It's a fairly common strategy, and one that I would expect to see here today. So nothing defending this natural base. Wait, an Adept is warping in for WayTeh. They're defending that with two Adepts. Two Adepts here for Stats, hanging behind a potential third base along this bottom left side for WayTeh, but WayTeh doesn't seem to be wanting to expand anytime soon. Stalkers pushing right up in. There are two Stalkers here for Stats and two Sentries, but that's it. Large group of Stalkers here. 8 Stalkers for WayTeh, baiting out a Photon Overcharge. Well, Stats wanted to do that one. He couldn't hold it without Photon Overcharge. This push by WayTeh was too strong. Gave him some time to warp in some additional... Ooh, Zealots, actually. A Zealot, Sentry, Stalker. I don't know. This is a lot. Meanwhile, Oracle... Oh, let's watch that again. Sorry, guys. Oracle comes right on in. Going to try to do some damage to this mineral line. And... yeah, trying to bait. There's the Photon Overcharge. Chases it away. Meanwhile, Adepts are doing damage down here at the natural base. Actually killing a few probes before the defensive Adepts show up. And another probe going to die. Yep, another probe going to die there. And another are going to die as well. 9 workers killed. 10 workers killed here by Stats. Meanwhile, WayTeh still trying to push in with these Stalkers. Photon Overcharge comes up again. Mothership Core has enough for one more of those. Oh, gonna pick it off. And no! What? 4 hit points remaining. Mothership Core still alive. That's insanity. Oracle murdering stuff here at WayTeh's natural base. Holy smokes, Oracle. You're doing very well for yourself. Indeed. 4 kills. Stalker comes in. Wants to kill another Adept. Very exciting. I think Stalker should be able to finish this thing up. No, too fast. Too fast. Do you have Blink? No, Blink is not quite done yet. 84 out of 121 on that completion time. Ouch. Ouch. Stats is doing really well here, you guys. 15 workers killed. How? Oh, okay. Okay. So Stats has killed 18 total units and 15 workers. I was really confused for a second there how that made sense. Anyway, WayTeh retreats all the way back home. Brings in an Immortal into the group. It's going to be Immortal Stalker, which we've seen since Wings of Liberty in PvP. It's a very common and a very popular strategy. Third Nexus on the way for Stats. Going for that third. No sign of him from WayTeh. He is down 48 to 23 Harvesters. I mean, this is it. He needs to make this thing happen now, or I think he's just dead. He needs to win a battle, do something huge, because Stats is up in worker count, and he's up in base count, and his army supply is a little bit lower, 34 to 35, but when you have that much of a worker lead, like 20, 30 workers ahead of your opponent, yeah, WayTeh needs to win this thing. He's in a lot of trouble. Stats has been doing a good job getting his economy up while stunting and killing WayTeh's. So what you got, man? What you got for us? Our Russian Protoss player Oracle swings in again, tries to do some more damage. Another Photon Overcharge chased it off once again. Stalkers trying to sneak on into this third base. I mean, they could probably force a cancel on the third, but I just don't know if it's enough. I don't know if it's enough. Takes down the pylon, powering the 3 gateways here at the third base, but leaving the Nexus alone for the most part. Yeah, I don't know if you can delay here at the third base. Making those gateways unpowered is pretty much the best thing that you can do. So trying to sneak in here, and is he going for it? Is he going for it? He's going for it. Stalkers at the front, Immortal at the back, trying to do some work. Photon Overcharge coming up. Force fields being thrown down as well, trapping some of WayTeh's units, blinking out, using that blink micro to the best of his ability. His Immortal gets stuck though, and focused down by Stats. Oh no, Stats has 3 Immortals and crushes all of the Stalkers here. There are 0 Stalkers left. WayTeh calls in the GG, warps in some Stalkers a little bit too late. And that is it. WayTeh leaves the game, and Stats is victorious. Woo! Excellent, excellent play there by Stats. Again, pretty much the recipe here is killing 16 workers, and then at the end of the game having a 54 to 22 advantage, including 3 bases to your opponent's 2. It's going to be enough. Also, the Immortals were hugely important. 3 kills, 2 kills on those Immortals, just crushing the Stalker. Stalker count just plummeted so quickly there for WayTeh. He had 1 Immortal, but the force field placement by Stats was insane. He traps it in there, focuses it down, then suddenly WayTeh's without Immortals whatsoever against 3. That was not going to happen for him at all. So that's the end of game number 1 here in our sneaky twofer between WayTeh and Stats. We'll move into game number 2 here in just a second. Welcome back, StarCraft fans, to our sneaky 2-game series between WayTeh and Stats. Here, game number 2 is on Frozen Temple. In the top left side of the map is the Aquamarine Protoss player. It is WayTeh. Oh, thank goodness they have the same colors. And in the bottom right side, we have the blue Protoss player. It is Stats. Yeah, in game 1, Stats kill your opponent's workers, get more Immortals than they do, and then win. That's kind of how you do PvP a lot of the time. WayTeh did a wonderful job of really just crushing Stats' ability to keep up economically and then just being ready. Anyway, we'll see if WayTeh can make a comeback now. There are links to both of these players in the description if you want to check out more of them, if you're a Protoss player interested in seeing professional level Protoss stuff. I always try to get those links, try to get Twitch streams and YouTube stuff and Twitter accounts and whatever people want me to link to, and I try to help them out because they're helping me out, right, by sending me these replays. and then everybody is happy. All right, again, we just have mirrored production tabs. We've got 2 assimilators for both players, 1 gateway and 1 probe coming up now. And we will see if anybody scouts. And yes, it looks like WayTeh here is scouting. He did scout in game number 1, which I mean, it wasn't the reason he lost. Like, I know some people say, well, it loses you mining time and it puts you behind economically, but WayTeh was behind economically a huge amount, regardless of whether or not this probe had come out there. So it didn't lose him the game, although, I don't know, maybe he could have gotten a better tell as to what Stats was doing on that initial scout and didn't. We'll have to, you know what, let's check this out. Let's see what this probe is doing and scouting out. I mean, the double gas doesn't tell you anything because everybody does double gas in the early game, but he did scout the cybernetics core, which again, not a huge surprise. He saw the placement of these pylons, not a huge deal either. What really he needs to do is see what's coming in here after that cyber core finishes, with the very first thing that Stats throws down is, and it was a Stargate last time, and that was a big tell for that Oracle. But Probe, are you leaving now? Probe leaves now. There's nothing that can kill you, right? I guess maybe if a Stalker comes out, you're in trouble, but... Alright, alright. We will see. We'll see if this comes back to hurt WayTeh or not. Both players getting a Mothership Core. Both players going to Adept this time. I'm not sure that the early Adept actually helped either player. Adept versus Stalker in that previous game. So, I mean, it's not like Adept always wins or Stalker always wins. It does matter about positioning and decision-making and stuff like that. So, Stats was very prepared for that with these 2 pylons here covering his entire mineral line. Beautiful. And then also try to knock down those rocks, preventing the Adepts from getting inside. Just barely missed. Like, almost got that thing down before the Adepts could get through. That would have been amazing. But in the end, he had the coverage, had the Mothership Core. The Adepts couldn't really get in there and do anything. And it was a problem. Stats coming in with his Adepts, forcing WayTeh's Adepts to come back and defend. No expansion here from WayTeh quite yet. And there is an expansion from Stats on the way. So WayTeh either needs to expand or get in here and do some work. Oh, he did manage to bait out a photon overcharge. WayTeh threw that down a little bit too early. Oh, those Adepts psionic transferred in. And at the very last second they canceled. But WayTeh had already tossed down the overcharge and wasted that energy. That hurts. That hurts a lot here. Can he blocks the expansion and kills the probe. Stats, you're so mean. You're so mean. I think these Adepts might be dead, though. They're going to get pinned in the corner here by Adepts and by Stalkers. Can they get both of the Adepts before that psionic transfer happens? No. One of them manages to escape down here to the southways. She did take some damage, though. She's down to 54 total hit points out of 80. Hurts quite a bit, and now the expansion coming up from WayTeh. So it's late. It is a little bit late, and against Stats, you can't really do that, as it turns out. Let's see here. What do we got? Robotics facility on the way for Stats. I think WayTeh already got one of those. Yes, he did. It's right here. Immortal production beginning for WayTeh. He says, in game 1, I lost pretty hardly because I didn't have enough Immortals. Let's start those. He was temporarily supply blocked, but he fixed that. He fixed that very quickly with a couple pylons. What are we looking at for the income tab? 27 to 26. WayTeh has a tiny, tiny bit of a lead. Both players are getting those Immortals. Going to go Immortal Stalker versus Immortal Stalker. Some sentries from WayTeh as well. Did not have sentries in the previous game, so maybe this will help him get a better outcome here against Stats. More gateways coming in at the same time. We just have Immortals and Stalkers and production facilities, and this expansion for WayTeh is almost done. Sitting here on the top of the ramp is WayTeh, and Stats doing the same thing. So both players playing pretty defensively thus far. We'll have to see if that actually is going to be a difference or not here, if playing defensively was the correct choice. Warp Prism on the way for Stats. Knocking down the unbuildable rocks is WayTeh. Stats does not care about his unbuildable rocks. He doesn't worry about misclicks. He is Stats. He is Stats. He is very good indeed. And what is this? What was that? Oh, Hallucinated Phoenix. I hate it. That hallucinated... I mean, it should be the right color. Like, hallucinated phoenixes should be the color of who it belongs to. But it always freaks me out to think that I'm missing a major attack when I see the wrong color in the base. So here comes Stats. He's pushing. He's on 2 bases. He is currently up 38 to 33. Total Harvesters, Army Supply 19 to 31. What? Stats, how do you do this? How do you get more workers and more army at the same time? Timing. It's just got to be timing. Getting those workers down on the time every time. And here we go. Trying to win this thing. Sonic transferring on in. The Adepts are behind. Force Field. Guardian Shield up as well. Focusing down the Immortal for WayTeh first. It is now gone. Adepts trying to do what they can against these Stalkers. They just don't do much damage against them whatsoever. The Warp Prism here for Stats, warping in additional units. And here we go. Stats pushing in once again with a superior army. Stalker count here very low for WayTeh. Double Photon Overcharge coming up. It does push Stats back just a little bit, but the Stalkers, there are not enough of them for Stalkers, and that's it. A GG from WayTeh. WayTeh is defeated, and Stats is victorious, going 2-0 against WayTeh. Woo, rough couple of games there for our Russian Protoss player. I mean, that was, like I said, Stats, he just got those timings down. His immortal count wasn't higher, but he just had more units. He had more workers. Let's see, the economy 43 to 37. And in a 5-minute game, that's a pretty big difference. That can make the difference between you having enough to produce and not enough army when you want it. It looks like Twilight Council is here for WayTeh, so he was trying to get that blink. He was trying to get blink, so he wasted some resources on that didn't actually turn out to help him at all, which is just hard to know. Like, you don't want to not start blink just in case your opponent attacks, but sometimes in these mirror matchups, those little things can make all the difference. So that's going to be it from me. This has been Falcon Paladin coming to you with yet another daily Legacy of the Void upload. Go ahead and hit that like button. Hit the subscribe if you like what you saw and what you heard today. You can also catch me on Twitter, Facebook, and Patreon, all at /Falcon Paladin. And until next time, as always, thank you so much for watching, and you take care of yourself. Patrons! Nicholas Cheek, Sean Govin, Nick Riley, Josh Cornelius, Jin, Jeff Duvall, KN, Matt Meermans, Hagon Marcus, Backberty, Alex Coffey, Ben Raboyne, 19 Day, Keith Garlow, Alexandros Canaris, Complex, Ian Westbrook, Michael McIntosh, Sam Estegoy, Bo Brissett, Cale Anderson, Trevor Smith, Menhadin, GMP, Sip Kopata, Konma, Michael Wellen, Plaid, Henry Cooper, Clayton Knight, Jan Kodera, Kevin Shing, Rajiv Bhatt, The Cosmic Phoenix, Peter Haas, Andre Breet, Mither. Thank you, Leak at the top right. Bye.